Green Arrow number 24, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Andrea Sorrentino. So, last issue, it was a whole thing. The first page here really does explain everything. We had them going, and they got Shadow free from Vertigo's control. And Shadow revealed that she was a lover of Oliver's father, and they had a daughter, making it his half-sister, and the half-sister is Emiko, who is currently acting as muscle, more or less, for Komodo. And then Vertigo also managed to possibly shatter Oliver's eardrum because of his attack on Oliver. So at this point, Oliver is just in a bunker trying to retrain his body because his balance is all off with the shattered eardrum. And he's not doing great. All of his arrows are missing. And Henry is on the computer saying, hey, you need to see a doctor, man. I'm not a doctor. I did a scan. Your inner ear is all sorts of messed up. This could be permanent. You need to get some medical help. And everyone's telling him, yeah, do that. And he's just like, no, don't worry about it. I'm sure everything will be fine. We need to figure out what's going on. We need to track down this whole thing. And they go through the whole thing that Oliver and him are going to Prague. They're going to figure out what's going on with the outsiders and all that. And it seems like Naomi and Shadow are kind of butting heads on what needs to happen, considering Shadow, of course, saying, let's go take care of the outsiders, where Naomi is caring about his health. And then all of a sudden, Henry looks at the TV and just like, oh, hey, guys, downtown Seattle, live feed. Vertigo is literally attacking everyone. He's just in the middle of the street saying, hey, I'm Vertigo. Green Arrow did this. He's the reason you're all suffering. Take my weird mind powers. So Oliver says, we got to go take care of that. And Shadows tells him, you are useless out there, man. You can't shoot an arrow straight. I will go take care of that. You stay here. And Henry and Naomi both say, no, that's also no good. His powers are stretching out like half a mile in every direction. There's no way you're going to be able to get close enough. Unless we use the rocket arrow. And Shadow's like, dear Lord, what in the hell is a rocket arrow? So at that point, Oliver basically says, no, screw that. I'm the protector of Seattle. I'm going to go protect the city from Vertigo. And Shadow punches him in the face and knocks him out, saying, anyone got a problem with what I just did there? Cool? No? Give me the rocket arrow. So Naomi goes with to provide backup support. And we see Vertigo on live TV basically saying like, yep, this was Green Arrow's fault. I hope you understand that. He needs to stop me. And Vertigo's talking to his goons that are there saying, hey, once I got Green Arrow and kill him, I need to be in the jet like immediately. So be ready for wheels up. And one of his goons is like, sir, you have gone on live TV and shown yourself to be this murderer. I feel like you're kind of getting away from our cause and like making it a lot harder for us to move about unnoticed. And Vertigo basically says like, okay, well, you're one of my oldest henchmen. I fully understand. Pass the phone to someone else. And he says, okay, pass it over. Yeah, kill henchman number 1. So henchman 1 gets shot in the head. Second henchman picks up and Vertigo's like, yes, this is for our country. This is for Vlatava. So Oliver comes to, and Henry's like, yeah, no, they're out there taking care of it. You should probably stand back because, again, you cannot fire a bow. So Shadow makes her way up to the roof, starts loading up a rocket arrow. Her and Naomi butt heads a little bit some more, saying like, yeah, no, it's you, Naomi, I can tell that you're in love with Oliver. I, too, fell for one of the Queen boys. Just know it's a very turbulent relationship ahead of you. So at that point, she's about to set up the rocket arrow when all of a sudden, Dick Dragon comes up and kicks Shadow in the back. And he starts attacking her. She starts throwing punches. And he's like, let Green Arrow know that if he wants in, I am now the one standing in his way. I now rule Seattle. And we see he has like, the best way I can describe it is, in like Fallout and those games where there's like the slowdown of time and you can see like the weak points on people's bodies. He has that vision. He's able to just pick that out and know exactly where to hit. And he uses it to take out Shadow pretty effectively. So when Shadow doesn't respond, Oliver picks up and he's like, all right, well, here's the thing. I think I can fight Vertigo because he already has shattered my eardrum. So how could it get any worse? So he starts making his way down and basically saying, yep, I got to get out there. And Henry can do nothing to stop him. So as Vertigo starts picking on this soldier that's down there, because I guess the National Guard or something got called out, he basically does the whole like, you stupid Americans, I watched your country become more and more corrupt from the outside, and now you're so worried about an outside thing, you're not even worrying about your inside corruption. So all it takes is one little push, and I will completely take your country apart. And then he blows up the soldier's brain. And then Green Arrow steps up and he's just like, all right, Werner, it's you and me. Let's get this over with. And, they talk a bit. They share a thing. But then finally Green Arrow's like, enough talk. Let's fight. And as Vertigo starts launching his power at Oliver, Oliver's like, I've already been exposed to this. I have already been hit by this power. So eventually I stop trying to fight it, and like it comes in waves, and I just start riding the waves. I start seeing it for what it is. It's a pattern. And I just start analyzing it. I figure out what the pattern is, and then I'm able to overcome it. And he lands a super solid punch right in Vertigo's face, knocking him out. One of the other soldiers comes up, grabs him, just like, Green Arrow, I got you. And he's like, not yet. And he walks over to Vertigo and rips the implant out of the back of his head. And Vertigo's like, oh, you think you've seen the last of me? I will retreat to Vlatava, and I will plot my revenge. This will go on forever. And Green Arrow's like, dude, you're going to prison. You're not going back to Vlatava. Why would you think you're going back to Vlatava? You just went on TV and showed that you are a terrorist. You are going to jail. Goodbye. So at that point, Shadow comes to. Naomi's walking her out, and she's like, oh yeah, I got attacked by this man. He's like a dragon. And Oliver's like, wait a minute, 3 dragons. That was a thing in my prophecy. Okay, hold on. We need to see this man. But then we cut over for a little epilogue. And this is heavy, guys. We cut over to a clock shop called the Clock King, where Billy Talkman, the Clock King, works. And he's fixing a clock, listening to the news report saying how, oh yes, Seattle's going down, and these gang wars and all this stuff's going on. And then a voice comes up from behind Billy. Billy pulls out a gun, aims at him. The voice is basically saying like, man, you and I have both seen war before. This isn't war. This is a slaughter. And we got to get out there. I've heard the name Dragon on the streets. That's why I'm here. Green Arrow seems too preoccupied. So we got to take care of this dragon guy ourselves. And Billy's like, oh yeah, how do you know I'm not the dragon? And this shadowy figure says, because I know you've got a score to settle with the dragon as well. And then it reveals that this is Andy Diggle from the Arrow TV show. He steps up and he says, it's me. It's Diggle. I'm back. And we have to bring all of our past sins back into the light. So it seems like Diggle's responsible for Dick Dragon. And I know his name is Richard Dragon, but I'm going to keep calling him Dick Dragon. It's a choice. I mean, it's better than oh God, what was the girl's name? I'm completely blanking on it. Felicity. That was it. Better than Felicity. I'll give it that. Overall, it's a good issue. I mean, I've liked Green Arrow from the top. I felt like this one was a bit more scattershot, though. It didn't feel like there was really one specific focus, especially when you focus on the fact that last issue was Vertigo just being left in Vlatava. It's just weird that they brought him into Seattle specifically with the point of, we're just going to wrap it up now anyways. It felt like it could have just been wrapped up last issue, I guess is what I'm saying. It felt like this issue wasn't necessary, except that we wanted Vertigo to be locked up in America for some reason, which fine, I guess, but it just seemed like an unnecessary step. It seemed like a little detour, whereas we should have been more wholesale focusing on this Outsiders plot that we've been building to. So overall, I think this is probably still a solid 7.5. The art's fantastic. I'm never going to get tired of that, especially the way it shows off Vertigo's powers. It looks great. So yeah, it's a fine issue. It just felt like a detour that was kind of unnecessary in the grand scheme of things. But hey, we got Andy Diggle out of it, so hooray.